sure you've seen these crazy headlines about the Mukaab.
Yeah.
This insane structure that Saudi Arabia is planning.
Right.
Skyscrapers inside a giant cube and like immersive virtual worlds and an entire underground city.
It's wild.
So today, let's unpack what this actually means for Saudi Arabia and for the future of cities in general.
Well, the fascinating thing is that this isn't really just about, extravagance or architectural extravagance. Right. It's a key piece of their Vision 2030.
Yeah.
This grand plan that they have to move away from oil dependence and become this global hub for tech and tourism.
Right, so it's like their giant futuristic billboard to the world in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's actually break down the structure for a sec.
Okay.
We're talking about a 400-meter cube containing multiple skyscrapers.
Yep.
And this thing is going to be over 1,000 meters above sea level.
Right. It's going to completely dominate the Riyadh skyline.
Wow.
And then there's the underground development, which is supposedly larger than the Dubai Mall.
You're telling me there's going to be a whole shopping experience.
Yeah.
Bigger than the Dubai Mall, but underground.
That's right.
Talk about a hidden city. I'm already getting claustrophobic just thinking about it.
Well, think of it less as a traditional mall and more like a sprawling, interconnected network of spaces.
Okay.
They're incorporating the Najdi architectural style into the facade.
Okay.
Which is a traditional style from the central region of Saudi Arabia.
So they're trying to blend the ultra-modern with this traditional aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's a pretty stark contrast, don't you think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that contrast is part of what makes this so interesting.
Sure.
It's kind of a reflection of Saudi Arabia's own journey, embracing the future, but still acknowledging its heritage.
Totally. Now let's get to the really wild part.
Okay.
These worlds within a dome concept. They're planning to create these immersive virtual experiences within the Mukaab. Imagine stepping into a totally different environment without ever leaving the building.
It's ambitious.
Yeah.
The idea is to use really cutting-edge technology to transform retail, hospitality, and entertainment.
Give me an example.
Imagine shopping in a virtual rainforest and then having dinner.
Wow.
On a simulated Martian landscape.
Okay.
All within this one structure.
That sounds amazing, but isn't that incredibly complex and expensive to do?
Yeah, that's a key question.
Right.
And it's something experts are kind of debating right now.
Yeah.
The technology is definitely advancing.
Sure.
But creating truly immersive experiences on this scale is uncharted territory.
So it's a massive gamble.
It is.
But if they pull it off, it could revolutionize the way we think about entertainment, even travel.
Absolutely. And I think that potential for disruption is really what makes this so fascinating to follow.
Of course.
It could be a game changer or it could be an expensive flop.
Right.
We'll just have to wait and see.
I'm picturing a future where people are lining up to have virtual vacations inside the Mukaab.
Yeah.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
What about the impact on Riyadh itself?
Yeah.
Deloitte is predicting a huge economic boost and a massive influx of people.
The potential economic impact is undeniable. I mean, Deloitte's analysis suggests the creation of 400,000 jobs.
Wow.
And an influx of millions of visitors every year.
That's huge.
They predict a major shift in Riyadh's population density.
Okay.
Going from about 4,000 people per square kilometer to over 20,000.
Wow.
In New Murabba, which is the district where the Mukaab will be located.
So they're basically creating a whole new super dense mini city within Riyadh.
Exactly.
That's going to have a massive ripple effect, right?
Imagine the strain on existing infrastructure.
Yeah.
The potential for just traffic nightmares.
So yeah.
The need for new housing and public services.
Of course.
This project is going to challenge Riyadh's urban planners in ways they've never experienced before.
So it's not just about building a cool building.
No.
It's about managing a whole ecosystem around it.
Yes.
And doing it sustainably in a desert environment.
Exactly. And that's another layer of complexity that
Yeah.
makes this such a fascinating case study.
Sure.
It's pushing the boundaries of architecture technology and urban planning.
All at the same time.
All at once.
And let's not forget the social implications.
Right.
How will this massive influx of people and this new high-tech environment change the way people live and interact in Riyadh?
That's an important point.
Yeah.
We need to think about whether this development will exacerbate existing inequalities or create new ones.
Sure.
Will the benefits be shared equitably?
Yeah.
Will longtime residents be priced out?
Those are some tough questions, and I'm not sure anyone has the answers yet, but we'll definitely dive into that more in a bit.
Okay.
First, though, let's talk about some of the potential challenges of actually building this thing.
Well, the engineering challenges alone are just mind-blowing.
Right.
Constructing a structure of this scale and complexity
Yeah.
in a desert environment, no less,
Right.
is going to require some serious innovation.
All right, so we're dealing with unproven technology,
Yeah.
potential social disruption,
Mm-hmm.
and unprecedented engineering challenges.
It's a lot.
It sounds like they're really rolling the dice with this project.
It's definitely a high-stakes gamble,
Yeah,
but that's what makes it so captivating,
right.
you know? The Mukaab is a bold experiment. It could either revolutionize urban living
Okay.
or serve as a cautionary tale for future mega projects.
Yeah. It's a bit like watching a high wire act. You know,
Yeah.
you're captivated, but you're also a little nervous about what might happen.
Right.
Speaking of high wire acts, the construction itself
Yes.
is going to be a marvel of engineering.
Absolutely.
We're talking about using robots and cutting-edge materials
Yeah.
to build this thing.
It'll have to be. We're not just talking about the height,
Right.
but also the complexity of the design.
Sure.
They're incorporating a lot of intricate details and curves,
Yeah.
which
right.
adds a whole other layer of difficulty.
I can only imagine the logistical puzzle
Yeah.
of getting materials and workers up to those heights
Right.
and then coordinating everything inside that massive cube.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
And let's not forget about the sustainability aspect.
Right.
Building a megastructure like this in the middle of the desert
Yeah.
is going to require some innovative solutions
For sure.
for energy and water conservation.
Yeah, they'll need to think about things like solar power, water recycling, and waste management on a massive scale.
So you're telling me this project
Mhm.
could potentially push the boundaries of sustainable building practices as
Yeah.
well. It's like every aspect of this project is designed to be a record breaker.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
And that's either going to be,
Yeah.
a huge success story or a cautionary tale.
Right.
There's not really much room for in between.
It makes you wonder if this is partly a PR move for Saudi Arabia.
Oh, for sure.
You know, they're definitely trying to project this image
Yeah.
of being innovative and forward-thinking.
It's hard to argue with that.
Right.
I mean, the Mukaab is a very visible symbol
Yeah.
of their ambition to diversify their economy and move beyond oil.
Right.
It's like saying, look at us.
Yeah.
We're not just an oil-producing nation anymore. We're a hub for technology, tourism, and futuristic living.
And that message is aimed not just at the rest of the world,
Right.
but also at their own people.
Absolutely.
Right? It's about creating this sense of national pride and progress.
It's about building a narrative
Yeah.
of a bright future for Saudi Arabia, one that's rooted in technology innovation and a more global outlook.
But narratives can be tricky things.
They can.
They can be powerful tools for change, but they can also mask underlying problems.
Right.
So while the Mukaab might look like this futuristic utopia on the surface,
Mhm.
we can't forget about the potential downsides.
Right. We've already touched on the potential social and environmental concerns,
Right.
but there's also the economic risk.
Yeah. What if this doesn't attract the investment and tourism that they're hoping for?
What if it becomes a financial burden?
That's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in the spectacle
Yeah,
and forget that there are real financial risks involved
for sure.
in a project of this magnitude.
Yeah.
And even if it's a financial success,
Right.
there are still questions about who will truly benefit.
Exactly. Will the economic benefits trickle down to ordinary Saudis?
Right.
Or will it primarily benefit a select few?
Yeah, these are important questions that need to be addressed
Yeah.
as the project progresses.
For sure.
I can see why you'd say this whole thing is like a giant experiment.
It is.
It's not just an architectural experiment.
Yeah.
It's a social and economic one as well.
And let's not forget about the impact on the surrounding communities. How will the influx of new residents and visitors affect the existing fabric of Riyadh?
Yeah.
Will it lead to displacement or gentrification?
Those are all crucial considerations that shouldn't be overlooked in the rush towards progress.
Right.
It seems like there are a lot of potential pitfalls
Yeah,
alongside the potential triumphs.
there are.
But regardless of the outcome, this project is going to have a lasting impact.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
The Mukaab is a statement project, a bold declaration of Saudi Arabia's ambitions for the future. It will be studied, debated, and analyzed for years to come,
Right.
regardless of whether it ultimately succeeds or fails.
And I think that's what makes it so fascinating. For us, the observers,
Yeah.
we get to watch this grand experiment unfold in real time
Yeah.
and learn from its successes and its mistakes.
It's a reminder that the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we actively shape. And projects like the Mukaab, for better or for worse, are pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible.
It's like they're giving us a glimpse into one potential future for cities.
Yeah,
A future where technology, sustainability, and ambition converge in ways we can only begin to imagine.
it is.
Speaking of imagining,
Okay.
what do you think about the implications of those worlds within a dome
Yeah.
that we talked about earlier?
Well, on the one hand, the idea of immersive virtual experiences is incredibly exciting.
Yeah,
Imagine being able to explore distant lands, historical periods,
sure.
or even fantasy worlds,
Okay.
all within the confines of this building.
You're right.
The possibilities for entertainment, education, and even therapy are vast.
It sounds like a sci-fi dream come true.
It does.
But I can also see the potential downsides.
Yeah.
What happens when virtual reality becomes so immersive and compelling that it starts to replace real-world experiences?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could these hyper-realistic simulations lead to a detachment from the physical world, sort of collective retreat into virtual realms?
Right.
And what are the ethical implications
Yeah.
of creating experiences that are so convincing,
Right.
so indistinguishable from reality?
It's almost like we're opening Pandora's box here.
It is a little bit.
We're unleashing these technologies with incredible potential,
Yeah.
but we're not entirely sure what the long-term consequences will be.
And that's why it's so important to have these conversations now, to consider both the potential benefits and the potential risks
Yeah.
of these advancements.
Right.
We need to ensure that we're using technology to enhance our lives, not to escape from them.
Well said. It's a reminder that we need to approach these technological advancements with a healthy dose of caution and critical thinking.
For sure.
But we shouldn't let fear paralyze us either.
Right.
There's so much potential here, so much opportunity to create a better future for ourselves and for future generations.
Absolutely. And projects like the Mukaab, with all their complexities and contradictions, can serve as valuable case studies helping us navigate the uncharted waters of the 21st century.
It's like we're all on this journey of discovery together, figuring out how to harness the power of technology while preserving our humanity.
And that's what makes it such an exciting time to be alive.
Sure.
You know, we're witnessing history in the making, and we have the opportunity to shape the future in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago.
It's a reminder that the future is not predetermined.
No.
It's a canvas waiting for us to paint our dreams and aspirations onto it.
And projects like the Mukaab, however ambitious or controversial they may be, are adding bold strokes to that canvas, forcing us to confront our hopes and fears about the world we're creating.
Yeah, it really is a lot to think about. We've been talking about the Mukaab as this grand experiment in Saudi Arabia, but what does all this mean for like someone, you know, like you listening right now who might never set foot in Riyadh?
That's a great question. You see, even if you never visit the Mukaab, the ideas behind it, the technologies, it employs the very concept of pushing the boundaries of what's possible in urban design.
Yeah.
These things have the potential to influence cities and communities all over the world.
So it's like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
The innovations and lessons learned in Riyadh could shape the future of urban living on a global scale.
Exactly. Think about it. If they successfully create sustainable, high-density living spaces that integrate cutting-edge technology and offer high quality of life, that model could be adapted and replicated in cities facing similar challenges, from population growth to climate change. It could even change the way we think about things like transportation, energy consumption, and social interaction in urban environments.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about building a cool building in the desert.
Yeah.
It's about potentially redefining what a city can be.
Precisely. And it raises some really interesting questions about the role of technology in our lives. If the Mukaab succeeds in creating these immersive virtual worlds, will people be content with their physical surroundings? Will we see a shift toward more virtual experiences? Even in cities that aren't as technologically advanced as Riyadh?
It makes you wonder if physical spaces will become less relevant in the future, or if they'll need to evolve to offer something that can't be replicated virtually. Maybe we'll see a resurgence of things like public parks and community spaces as people crave more authentic, real-world interactions.
That's a fascinating thought. It's like we're on the cusp of a new era
Yeah.
in urban design, where the lines between the physical and the virtual are blurring.
Right.
And the Mukaab, in many ways, is at the forefront of that evolution.
And it all ties back to this idea of Saudi Arabia trying to reshape its image on the world stage.
Absolutely.
You know, they want to be seen as a leader in innovation,
Yes,
not just a supplier of oil.
absolutely. The Mukaab is a bold statement,
Yeah.
a declaration that they're ready to play a leading role in shaping the future.
Right.
It's a risky gamble,
Yeah.
but if it pays off, it could have profound impact on their economy,
Sure.
their society, and their place in the world.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
The Mukaab is clearly much more than just a building. It's a symbol of ambition, innovation, and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead as we enter this new era of urban living.
Yeah.
What final thoughts would you leave our listeners with?
I think the most important takeaway is that the future is not something that happens to us. It's
Yeah.
something we create.
Okay.
And the projects like the Mukaab, however audacious or controversial they may seem,
Yeah.
are a reminder that we have the power to shape the world we want to live in.
Okay.
So as you observe this grand experiment unfold in Riyadh, ask yourself, what kind of future do you envision for your own city, your own community?
Right.
What role do you want to play in shaping that future?
Those are powerful questions, and I hope our listeners will take some time to really reflect on them. It's been an incredible journey exploring the Mukaab and all its implications, and we appreciate you diving deep with us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining the possibilities.